Financial fraud has been around since the existence of tangible money, and in places like Wall Street, the temptation of hard cash is hard to fight.
Fraud would either be some type of financial gain or just greed in general in order to put more money in their own pocket. I would say it's a problem in corporate America at the corporate level with corporations taking advantage in different ways in order to thicken their bottom line. It's also a problem at the citizen level with people taking advantage of other people for whether that's elder abuse or some other type of financial fraud. And this has been going on. It's been a problem in our society for as long as we've had money.
Many criminals of financial fraud are known for having many likable characteristics about themselves, and that's in order to gain a client's trust so they can take advantage of them for their own financial gain.
Has always had their fair share of fraud companies, and one of the main reasons is there's so much money involved in Wall Street. So the allure to commit fraud to get even more money for an individual is incredibly great in a situation, especially in a Wall Street type environment. And you're not dealing with hard tangible assets like a house or a car or something like that. You're dealing with a lot of times, paper transactions that can be manipulated. So the allure is very, very strong for people to commit fraud.
When referring to white-collar crime or financial fraud, Ponzi is one of the first people that comes to mind, as he is the original of wide-scale scams, and many white-collar criminals today have adapted from his doings, such as Bernie Madoff, who is well known today, and many of you probably know who he is, as he fraudulized billions of dollars on Wall Street and manipulated numerous people in order to gain more for himself.
The bank side of the company that I worked for found themselves in 2016, and a select group of employees, basically without customer knowledge, opened checking accounts, credit cards, savings accounts, things like that, in order to reach aggressive sales goals, once again in order to get bigger bonuses for their financial gain, for greed. And so that was, very much a black eye for our company. The governing bodies came in and issued fines, and they were very in the hundreds of millions of dollars in order to deter the company from, not monitoring stuff like that better in the future. And then there were definitely some firing. CEOs were fired, and many executives lost their jobs, and they did bonus clawbacks where they took bonuses away from people that had already got them. Basically, they made them give them back. A lot of things like that. These executives and these CEOs have plenty of money, so the harsher the punishment, the better. The more likely it's not going to happen in the future, and that they'll have better oversight of their company. Well, at the corporate level, one of the things that should be done is there should be better monitoring from the CEO level all the way down through lower level management to make sure, that whatever employees are doing is well monitored, so that the opportunity is much smaller than what it is right now. And then another thing at the corporate level would be removing aggressive sales bonuses and sales goals that drive people to maybe make unethical decisions in order to fatten their own pockets, so to speak. Again, it takes years and years to build a solid reputation in the financial world, and it just takes a very short time to destroy it. In June, the Department of Labor will implement what's called the fiduciary standard for all financial advisors. So if you deal with anyone's retirement accounts, you are held to a fiduciary standard, which means you have to put the client's interest in front of your interest, no matter what the recommendation or advice that you're giving. That standard has a lot of kind of action that goes with that to implement that. It's going to change the industry quite a bit. Your financial information, your bank account numbers, your social security number, things like that. If the phone rings and it's a weird number, don't give them any type of information. But also monitor your credit reports. There's all these different ways that you can look at your credit report in a given year. Pull that at least once or twice a year. Make sure everything on it kind of lines up with what it should be, and there's nothing, there's no surprises out there. I think greed's at the heart of all financial fraud, and I think that, that sense of greed, when you have some, you want more, and sometimes no matter how much more, it's never enough. So, that greed, you take, and I think that's really at the heart of all financial fraud. Thank you.
All in all, financial fraud is a big issue related to money and financial gain and affects everyone, and it needs to be addressed by many people.